So Python offers loops in two ways, actually two methods. And we have already demonstrated one, which is while. The while loop. While loop use the conditional control loop. It's controlled by true and false condition values. It means we will have a condition expression and we will check, computer will check whether the condition value is true or false. When it is true, then it will execute the following instructions until one day the condition values is become false, then it will stop, jump to the loop, quit the loop, right? And the while loop repeats the statements when the condition is true. The other, we call that for loop. For loop is, we call it counting control loop. So it's different because condition control loop is use the Boolean value. When it's true, when it's false, then the situation will change. But for the for loop, the for loop is counting control loop. It means you will count how many times you will do that. For example, when the demonstration, we use the while to print Python is fun for 100 times. It's actually better to use the for loop because for is easier for when you know how many times you have to execute. So it will be easier to express. You may use the very, limit few instructions to express the same things. So the for loop controls the specified number of the repeat executions. So what is the main differences between these two? I will tell you now. I want you to memorize that. When you don't know how many times you have to do, you never know. For example, when we want to guess a number, for example, we want to guess the number from 1 to 100. So we don't know the users how many times he will, guess exactly the number. So when it is incorrect, then we will do the things again until bingo, someday he gets the number. So in that kind of situation, we will use the while. But if you already know how many times you want to do the loop, you use the for. So of course, we can use the while to, do the things just like for. But when you don't know how many times you will have to do, you can use the for to simulate the while. So the while is more powerful, right? Because you can control how many times you can do, but you also can control if you don't know how many times you can do. So that's the differences between the two. But if you have already know how many times you will do the loop, you just use the for, it will be more easier and prevent you to drop into the unlimited loop, because the while easily to drop into the unlimited loop. Yeah. And remember, use the control plus C, then you can quit the unlimited loop. So now we will introduce what is while loop. While loop. The while loop repeats the statement when the condition is true. The syntax of a while loop is as follows. Please make a note, right? First, the statement to be repeated in the loop is called the loop body. And one-time execution of the main body of the loop is called iteration. Iteration is a special keywords in programming, right? Iteration means you do the things once, or we can also call that repetition of the loop. So each loop contains the loop continuous condition, just like condition statements, Boolean value, which is a Boolean expression used to control the execution of the main content. So it's just like this. While and loop continuation condition. Yeah, whether it is continue, is a Boolean expression and with the colon, right? And this part is loop body. It means this part will continue do it again. Every time when you do once, it's one iteration, and do the second time, the second iteration, right? So until the conditions is no longer be true, then it will jump to the while loop. Okay. So for this example, sweet demonstration, the count is smaller than 100 is a loop continuous condition. One day it will become no longer true. Why? Because in your body, you have to remember this. You must to do something, change the condition variable, make it different until one day you have the chance to quit the loop. Otherwise, it will always do the same things and become an unlimited loop. Yeah, unlimited loop is very, terrible. Yeah, it will waste a lot of resources of your computer. So when you found that time, please press the Ctrl+C and stop interrupt everything here. So this is a small example here. There are two variables here. One is for I is for responsible control, how many times you will do. And the sum is another variable. The sum variable is for memorize. What is total? So actually, when the I variable equal 1, then the sum will plus 1. And he will accumulate next time. New sum will equal the old sum. Yeah, plus the new I value. When you finish, then you change the variable. So remember, you have to do this and then you change your variable. We do not recommend you change the variable first. You have to, make the computer to do all the things. Then you change the variable and it will become the next iteration. Yeah, when you do all the things, then you print sum is sum. So finally, your result will be 45. So let's see the demonstration here. Yeah, use the idle here. So here we have two variables. First, a variable is responsible for to memorize the sum here. So we set 0, and I here is a variable responsible for control how many times you want to do. So when the I smaller than 10, okay, smaller than 10, then we make the sum, new sum, equal the old sum to plus I, right? And we make the control variable I to have some exchange, for example, plus 1, right? Yeah, and one day he will finish it. And then we make, this is a loop body, right? Because it's below the while. So when I make the mouse here, means we do the things out of the loop. So out of the loop, yeah. And we will give the sum, yeah. Okay, sorry. The sum here is, yeah, we can use the comma to replace the spaces here and sum. Yeah, because this sum is our variable, right? Yeah. So we will try that. Sum here is 45, yes. But if we make it into this, just use the tab and make it just like inside the loop body, and we do that again. So it will demonstrate all the details in each iteration. First iteration, it is 1. The second, 1 plus 2 will equal 3. And 3 plus 3 will equal 6. And 6 plus 4 equal to 10 until finally we'll get the 45. So unless you want to see the whole procedure, otherwise, if the final result is to print, we will put it into out of the body statements because we do not want it to print a lot of times. It will waste a lot of times. So I just want to show you what's the differences when we make the print, the result inside the body and outside the body. When it is use the tab inside the body, it will do a lot of times. Yeah, just like a body statements. But when it is align the while, it means it's out of the body. Yeah. When it is finished, then it will do it. Okay, so it's your time.